only 17% of people get past the first week with their New Year's resolutions. So when we look at it that way, if you can just focus on the Archimedes said, give me a lever long enough and a fulcrum strong enough and I can move the world. What's the longest lever and the strongest fulcrum? AKA the most basic thing that you can do anywhere. And do it.
Constructing your life is about much more than just building a bank account. Each week, join mindset coach Austin Linney as he interviews guests who are constructing their dream lives and impacting the world around them on a daily basis. If you're an entrepreneur or wanting to start a business, or you just want to hear motivating stories of how others have overcome the odds, you are in the right place. And now for your host, Austin Linney.
Guys, welcome back to Construct Your Life 2024 in the house. That's what we're going to talk today about. I got my guy back. You heard the 2023. I might have been a little harsh there at the end, but I'm going to be even harsher on this one because it's the new part of it. One of my favorite episodes I ever did was my homeboy that I did 60 episodes with, Anthony Facino.
Yeah.
We were like third episode into the year. He goes, well, it's probably already 3 weeks in and you probably already gave up on your goals. So, look, guys, we're going to talk today about mindset headed in the new year. What we're looking to see, what we're the most, before we get into the mindset, I want to ask you, what are you most excited about headed in the new year?
Inevitability.
Oof.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, just
Inevitability is what I'm excited about because the pieces have been laid, the road is paved, and all that I get to do, all that we get to do now is walk it.
Damn, that's strong. I don't even know if I got something better than that. You know, it's such a great word and kind of phrase because it's this concept of not seeking something, but becoming something, right? And when you feel inevitable about your success, right? One of my favorite lines, so simple, like, we are where we need to be, time just hasn't caught up yet.
Yep. Time's
Right?
imaginary.
So time's imaginary, right? And so if you're, you know what? That's going to be my word for 2024. I hadn't come up with one yet, but it's so good I can't even think straight because it's so great. Because what if you woke up every day and that's what you said to yourself? How would you think you would perform every day?
I mean, that's how I've been operating for, in the 2023 episode, I said a couple months back, I realized I took my foot off the gas. And I've been operating in a state of inevitability for the last couple months. And things just happen. And it seems like things just happen. I'm actually taking the action. And it feels like it's just happening because it feels inevitable. So I'm just doing it. Also, I get like random referrals now that I wasn't getting before, kind of thing.
What I've done for almost 55 days in a row, because this is me opening myself up to you to tell you where I fail because I want to be an example, right? I am very, for me, when it came to working out, meaning walking, right, whatever I'm doing, I'm not hey, I'm going to do it 3 times a day, 3 times a week guy, and I'm going to find it. It has to be every day or homie is going to fall off. It's just, it's a weird personality trait, but I love it, right? So what I decided to do was I could never crack just stay in the workout mode. I could do the 75 hard. I could do all that. Yep. So what I did is I started habit stacking different things, right? Yeah. So I listened to my affirmations while I'm writing my new affirmations. So I do that. So I've done that 55 days in a row, but I would never do them before that. So I'm listening to my affirmations and I'm writing affirmations about things that have already happened. Then I do 50 push-ups a day, 50 air squats. For almost 3 weeks in a row, I've never missed a day.
Let's go.
Why? Because I can do those anywhere.
that's something powerful to be said for, focusing on the basics. So many people get into the new year, and fun fact, only 17% of people get past the first week with their New Year's resolutions. So when we look at it that way, if you can just focus on the Archimedes said, give me a lever long enough and a fulcrum strong enough and I can move the world. What's the longest lever and the strongest fulcrum? AKA the most basic thing that you can do anywhere. And do it.
Dude, Sean Casey, by the way, you think, and I hold you in the highest regard, okay?
Yeah.
But Sean is on another level of manic. Like I was like, well, I want to do I'm gonna do like 20 push-ups and like 30 push-ups, and he was like, Austin, you haven't even done one. And I was like, but Sean, no, Austin, you haven't even done one. I said, no, but Sean, I don't care. He said, you haven't done one. Do one every day for 30 days and then come talk to me. And it's like we subconsciously create all these little things because I travel a bunch. So it's not, there's not a gym everywhere. But I can do that. And the thing is we put so many, trappings around things. But as I get down to the table, like, basics. Let's build a mountain. Let's dig the first hole, and let's do that a million times in a row. I got a new client. He is a friend of a friend, younger guy, works at a company of a buddy of mine. He said, I can't get to him. He said, I need you to handle him. I said, okay, look, now that you've given him to me, he's not your problem anymore. He's my problem, okay, for the next 6 months. So I said, look, dude, here's the deal. I said, you got a real big job right now. I said, you're by yourself. I said, you're young. Your girlfriend's not in town with you. I said, you don't have a fucking excuse. You don't drink anymore. There's no excuse. I said, so if you push snooze and you don't hit the gym and you don't do the gym that day, I'm going to stop coaching you. I didn't say it in that context, but I'm saying, look, if we're going to commit and I'm going to commit and the money's been spent, like you're going to get it. So what he's doing now is, let's say he has a bad morning. He goes to work. He goes to the gym at night.
Yep.
He texts me. He texted me 2 days ago. So this consistency thing is quite something.
Imagine that.
But we create so many hula hoops and so many things to jump through that we don't even allow ourselves to succeed in the first place.
Yeah, because we don't believe that success is who we are. So we look for reasons, and this is something I've talked extensively about, that because we don't believe that we can do that, we subconsciously look for the obstacles as opposed to seeing the ways to get it done. We see the reasons it won't work as opposed to the ways we can make it work. Subconscious programming.
I love that. Guys, let me take a minute to tell you about my buddies over at Lead Hub, Ben and Aaron, the best humans I know. Not only are they amazing at marketing for trade companies, but Ben started his HVAC company in his garage, sold it for multi-million dollars. So when this guy talks, I listen. When we took over Dietz Mechanical, we had 22 reviews in 22 years. In 7 short months, we went from 22 reviews to 107. We went from a 4.2 to a 4.7. We tripled our Facebook presence and we tripled our calls. If you're an HVAC, plumbing, electric, landscaping company, and you're looking for a no BS approach to marketing, you're looking for people who have done it before, you got to go to leadhub.net. So for me, this year, I am seeking optimization of me in the context of high output, high leverage, least amount of time. All right. Because the calendar's getting full, right? You got this podcast. We're ramping up the episodes. I'm launching another podcast for a client and a friend. I'm running a company, and then I have 3 other companies on the side. This is a guy who feels like he doesn't do anything all week. And then, so there is, I've been looking for an assistant for 3 years, for 4 years. I've had possible ones, chief of staffs. None of them have worked out. And I realized even if they did work out, I wouldn't be in a position to give them what they need to be successful at their job. So for me, I'm going to listen to Jim Rohn and I'm going to become the person that attracts that assistant, not look for one, by optimizing myself.
As with anything, whether it's for the listeners, whether it's an assistant, a job, a relationship, a solution you're looking for, start within, and the thing likely will come around, and you'll be able to see it because you'll be out of your listeners. You'll have the noise cleared, and you won't be trying to get in your own way anymore. You'll be optimized for that. And that's you'll be a grandfather clock attracting other grandfather clocks to swing in rhythm. You put a grandfather clock together in a shop, they all start swinging together.
And the other thing that I am excited about is the people that I have in my life, in my personal life, and in my business aren't asking me to be anything more than I am. And not only that, they're supporting who I am and lifting them up instead of tearing them down. I love that. Because then I can be my maniacal, networking, crazy traveling, supporting the mission person, and it feels so good to be let off his leash. It feels so good to let me do what I do best and lean into that. Now, here's the trick, though. This is me. This will be probably a 3-year process. Yeah. I want to jam on this with you because it's something that's been on my mind for months. I don't feel like I actually do any work. I'm not digging in a spreadsheet. I'm not writing an email.
Yeah.
I realize what we're doing right now is my work, but none of that feels like I'm actually working to me.
Well, it's still an adjustment in this new world, right? Because even 100 years ago, like you or I would be working in a factory or building buildings with our bare hands or out in a field. Like these technologically based jobs, even working a spreadsheet, would often leaves people feeling like they didn't put much effort in for the day, and that's a leader. And whether it's leading from a podcast and creating impact and ripples and helping the people to hear what they were unaware that they needed to hear, or leading from a CEO position or from a C-suite position, that's a leader, is being able to get out of the way of ourselves and of other people who are able to process the work for themselves and keep doing it. And that is work. And I'll toss this back to you. If it takes effort in feeling like you didn't do anything to keep doing the stuff that doesn't feel like work, well, then that's kind of work to stay in it, in a little self-looping paradox there.
That's a good point. Because, I have an employee right now who's going through some personal stuff, not any business-related stuff, right? And his life is, there's a lot. I've dealt with a lot, and he's dealing with a lot right now, you know. And there's a lot of emotional space that's needed as a boss to be there for that person, right? And those are the things that aren't measured. Those are the things that aren't measured of the emotional tax that it puts on me and them and vice versa. That is where I think a lot of people, if you're listening to me right now, you're not accounting for the emotional drag of your emotions, and you're saying, well, I don't feel like I'm doing much.
Yeah.
But you can't quantify the reservoir of emotions if you haven't set with yourself or taken off a weekend, right? The biggest issue with business right now is 24/7. That's the problem. We've turned into a 24/7 society and working on Saturdays and working on Fridays. When was the last time you did something for yourself? So maybe your reservoir is empty.
Yeah, how are you supposed to, it's that age old, how are you supposed to pour from an empty cup? And go back and learn how to fill yours up first. And when we fill that up, well, then everything else starts to fill itself up. And I think it was a podcast that you sent me. I think it's an episode you sent me where he's talking about sometimes, the trap that companies fall into of promoting the best salesman to sales manager, or the best whatever to the manager. It's like managers don't do the same work. Leaders don't do the same work, and they'll often, in the first year or two in a manager or a leader seat, feel like they're not doing anything because you're not doing anything to actively move the needle. You're managing the people that move the needles and helping them to move it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. So good. what else are you looking for? How does somebody wear or become a new mindset in 2024?
Why didn't you get to where you wanted to go in 2023? We talked a little bit about this in the 2023 episode. I wanted to leave for some of it for here. Like, if you want a new mindset, and if you want to be a new person in 2024, take an honest look at 2023, and just moving into 2024 and going, this year is going to be different, without getting brutally freaking honest with yourself and saying, oh wow, this is why I didn't go where I wanted to go, and this is the different way that I can attack this to get where I want to go. Because so many people go, oh, well, 2024 is going to be different. This can be my year. But I don't know why I didn't go where I wanted to go in 2023. And without that reflection, well, you're still going to be shooting blind in 2024. And good luck getting done what you actually want to get done.
And I'm going to take a different tack because I'm me. Like, This sounds crazy. This sounds so ridiculous, right? But it's one act that might change your whole life. And I can't explain to you how, but just trust me on it, okay? Let's say that for 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, you've taken the same route to work every time. You go to the gym the same time. You go to the same route. Dr. Dispenza talks about this. How would your mind ever create something new if you haven't changed anything?
Yep.
Take a different route to work. Brush your teeth with your left hand. If you eat dinner at 5, eat dinner at 5:30.
Pattern interrupt.
Change things in your life to create a new trigger point, a new anchor point, right? Let's say that you lift weights on Tuesday and Thursday, lift them on Monday and Wednesday. You might run into somebody that you never met before because of it for your job. You might meet that spouse at the grocery store when you normally go at 5 o'clock, you go at 10 o'clock. I know what you're saying, Austin. What are you talking about? It's just making your body, your everything in your head create a new energy and a new system, right? Yeah. If you always go to bowling on Thursday night, do it a different night. Just change it up.
Yeah. It's a pattern interrupt, and if you interrupt one pattern, your body's going to start going, oh, maybe we can interrupt the others. Maybe we can interrupt that thing that actually didn't serve us. Maybe we can interrupt this and do it better. And it's just giving you a foot in the door so you can crack it wide open and step into the best version of yourself.
Okay. And I wouldn't have the man on, the dad model, with the guys at the office say that guy can't be real. That's what they say about him over here in Pennsylvania. I would be remiss if we didn't talk about health, which is a huge thing for me. Yeah. With as much as I'm doing, this has been myself, everybody, this is a big deal for me. There's so much information out there, so many different stuff that's so confusing. I'm so over all of it. Give me a foolproof 1 to 2 to 3 plans to create a healthy version of yourself for 2024.
Put your phone down 30 minutes before you go to bed. Do something that allows you to slow down before you go to bed. Sleep well, if that, and there's more pieces to sleep, but that one right there, put your phone down, get out of other people's stories and get into your story, and then meditate, journal, whatever it is. Fiction books before bed can sometimes keep you up too long. Read nonfiction. Get up in the morning and start the day again in your story. If your phone's an alarm clock, buy an alarm clock. They still make them, and plug your phone in like in the kitchen. Get up and pattern, do something, whether it's affirmations. If it's a cold shower, great. I got up at 5 a.m., walked downstairs, got my cold tub outside. Water was 35 degrees. It felt great. Cold exposure to start the day. Get your feet on the earth every day and just move every single day. If you do that stuff and this next piece, eat real food. If your food has an ingredient label, do that less than 10% of the time. So either it was killed or picked from the ground, and focus on a protein at every meal, because protein burns 10% hotter, so you burn 10% more calories to digest your protein. Protein keeps you full longer. Get a quality protein. Essentially, move every day, eat a high protein diet that's real foods, and get your sleep. You do those, and your life will be magic. But so many people don't want it to talk about the subconscious roadblocks that we put in on ourselves. So many people don't want to believe it's that simple, because if it's that simple, it requires self-responsibility. So take responsibility for the simple actions and implement them, and your health will 180. You do that to what you said. Oh yeah, there's something to this consistency thing. You move your body every day. If you go to the gym, cool. You get up and you do 20 burpees every day. Cool. Move your body every day in some way. Eat whole, real foods, sleep well, and hydrate. Your health will do a 180 in 6 months, in 3 months, and 12 months. It would be a whole new you.
Okay. Now that was the roadmap. I'm going to give you some tricks because I like to mindset trick the mind. And I'm giving you the secrets that I tell clients. All right, guys? So if you are stuck, if you listen to 1 million business books and 1 million business podcasts and you're not feel like you're getting things out of it anymore, I have a trick. And everybody gets upset with me when they have to do it. And then they go, oh, I see why you did it. Pick up a book called Big Magic. And it's a window into creativity, to storytelling, and it changes the way that you look at the gifts that you have inside of you. And every client that's read that book has got a new perspective on life because it explains how we're so gifted, all of us. All right? So there's your one trick. Pick up the book Big Magic. The second one is, this is a new thing that I've implemented. I've met him in person. You think I'm an obsessive, hardworking person. This guy puts me to shame. And he is on a mission to read 1,000 autobiographies from like the people, all right? His founder's podcast. This guy will tell you to your face, I've met him, I will be the best podcaster in the world. It's all he does. And he takes pages and pages of notes, and he tells you how the greats built stuff. I'm talking all of them. Anna Wintour, Elon Musk, Napoleon Hill, all of them. It's an amazing podcast. I find myself getting so much inspiration from the things and the back against the wall that these lifelong famous entrepreneurs and founders had. It's an amazing podcast. It gets you out of the business stuff. The way he tells it is very inspiring. He's very an all or nothing type of guy. So that's another one. Here's the one that got me sober. Okay, so when you're addicted to something, you have a need to have that thing subconsciously. You have to have it. It's not a question. It's like ingrained into your body, and you don't even know you're doing it. So what I did when I got sober was, if I felt the urge to drink, I would get on the Peloton for 10 minutes.
Yep.
Or I would go for a walk for 10 minutes. And what that did is, by the time that 10 minutes were up, I didn't even want to drink anymore. And that is back to the pattern interruption again.
Well, and then that walk, like I made a piece of content a few months ago. I got home after a long Friday, got up, worked out, had a client, had a full load, went to dinner with some family, got home. Like, it was a draining day, like fulfilling, and I was feeling like I needed some me time. So what I do, I packed my little handheld vaporizer with some cannabis, and I was like, hold up, it's nice out. It's sunset. Let's go for a walk with the dogs. I'm going to bring this in my pocket. I'm going to give myself the option. I ended up not interacting with that cannabis because I went on that walk. And that's, another one is, we're recording these, right before 2024 and the holidays. And some people will be like, man, I'm going to see my mother-in-law today. I need a drink. And they crack that drink and they sip it and they go, I feel better. Now, here's the thing. That alcohol did not interface with your system yet. You know what you did, though? You went, you took a breath. It's like, you have the subconscious hit that, like, oh, cool, I have my drink. And you took a deep breath.
I got to tell you a story. I've never shared this story with you. And Andreas, I'll send this to you because he knows. Okay, so this is a story I've never shared with anybody. I was 6 months sober, okay? I'm going to see one of my oldest friends I've known since I was like 20. He runs a bunch of money now for UT. We always have long discussions about just business, and I love the way he manages $5 billion. His wife's a doctor. He's a good friend. We've known each other for a long time, back from the restaurant business. And I said, you know what? I've been good. It's 6 months. 6 months. We were at Costco, staying the night at his house. I went to the liquor store and I got my favorite whiskey, and we brought it home. And I was going to drink that night. I was like, oh, I did good job. We got to talking about business and what I was going to do. And I realized 3 hours had passed and we were talking about mindset and business. And I never drank. I never opened it. It's still in his cabinet. He said, do you want me to open it? I said, no, leave it there because it's a reminder, because I'm going to take that bottle and I'm going to talk when I have my big stage. When I talk on stage for the first time, I'm going to bring that bottle with me as a part of the story. But think about that. I got so excited about my new mindset, my new business, what I was going to do, that I replaced my need to numb myself with where I wasn't going, that the excitement comforted me.
Numb yourself about where you're not going. The only chimps that masturbate are the ones in captivity in zoos. And I'm going there.
I didn't have that on my bingo card.
Well, and here's the thing with that though. It's more than just that act, right? It's the drink. It's the doom scrolling on social media. It's finding some transitory pleasure in something else because we're not out there acting as our freest self, creating the life that we want.
That's so good. So what is your message to everybody headed into the new year?
Don't be a chimp in captivity.
Done. You're good. Yeah, you're good. Mark is totally going to clip that one out, and I'm going to be in so much trouble. All right, here's my message to you, that there's something that I seek, that I want it to be your rally cry for 2024. And it's such a simple word, and I'm going to explain to you how it has so much power. Do you know the only thing that I care about in this world is more? There's more love, more freedom, more time, more opportunities, more abundance, more gratitude, more health, more impact, more. There is not a fucking place where the game stops. The game does not stop. So whatever you think you did last year or your goals are for this year, double them, triple them. I don't care. But more is the answer to everything. And I don't mean in a more of like more money, more. No. More time with your family, more business opportunities, more responsibilities, more love, more travel, all of them. That is the game.
More of you.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
More of you. Make this year from the outside. Take that away and go from the inside to the outside.
How can you become inevitable in your own journey? That's what I'll toss to the listeners.
Amazing.
Besides my earlier comment.
No comment on the chips. Guys, share this with a friend. Send it. Have a great 2024.